Good morning, guys. This is View from the Pew. It is Thursday morning, May the 6th, 2021. It's a beautiful day outside today. We're concluding Mark's commands of Christ this week. We've got two more we're going to look at. And this one is not even implied, but it's sort of one of those where you look and you say, okay, here's a follower of Jesus doing something that I don't want to do, so I need to learn from this. Now, I understand that Peter denied Christ, and Jesus knew that he was going to do that. But I want you to listen to what it says about how Peter followed Jesus. It says in verse 53, after they arrested Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, it says, they led Jesus away to the high priest, and with him were assembled all the chief priests, the elders, and the scribes. Then verse 54, but Peter followed him at a distance. Let me repeat. But Peter followed him at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest, and sat with the servants and warmed himself at the fire. This has been Deny Peter Week. We looked at it last night during our Wednesday night study. We'll look at it Sunday during Sunday school, talking about denying Peter. Those two passages are from Luke. They're a little bit different, but not much. And Matthew, Luke, and John, I don't know if all four of those share about Peter's denial, but I know at least three of them do. I know Matthew, Mark, and Luke do. But I just want you to think about the fact that Peter followed at a distance, and also that he sat with the servants. If you're going to follow Jesus, don't follow him at a distance. Follow him closely. As a matter of fact, that goes back to the very first command Jesus gives when he says, follow me, all the way back to, I think it's Matthew 4:19, when he says, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Because the word that he uses for follow me is not a command, it's an adverb. It's the word dute, which means follow me closely, means come here, follow me closely. And you just can't follow Jesus. You can follow him from a distance, but you really can't follow him from a distance. You really can't hear him. You really can't get alone with him. You really can't know him deeply if you're just following him from a distance. And that's where Peter found himself. He probably had felt some level of sin, guilt. He didn't feel the boldness that he normally felt. He had used up his boldness with a knife on someone's ear just a few moments before. And so he's moving down this path, dealing with regret and sin and all of these things. So he follows Jesus at a distance. And I just want you to think about what that looks like for us today as believers. You're a professing follower of Jesus Christ. Can you truly say that according to Jesus, you're following him closely? Not according to you, but according to Jesus, are you following him closely? And just off the top of my head, I'm thinking about ways to do that. First, you're being faithful to everything he's called you to do. You ought to be doing that anyway. That's the ground level expectation of a disciple, of an apprentice, is to be obedient to the commands of the master. Do you know you're being faithful? I mean, after all, there's 50 commands in Matthew. There's many more mentioned again in Mark and Luke and John. There's new ones. Do you care about those? Do you want to know those? Are you digging in to understanding the heart of Jesus as you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and understanding what he's looking for from your life? Or is Jesus just more of an ideal, a historical figure? An archetype is a word that gets used in our world today. Is he just somebody way out there that, boy, I hope I can be like Jesus? Or is he someone you're spending intimate conversation and time with like you should? Because that's the great challenge for us. I do believe the bigger Jesus becomes in our world, the smaller the influences of the world become. But the bigger the influences of the world become, the smaller that Jesus' influence becomes. And if you're going to profess him as Lord, if you're going to confess him as Lord, you need to walk close to him. You need to make him first in your day. He needs to permeate your life. He ought to permeate your speech. And I can be guilty too of bringing things into even my frame of reference and my mindset that don't always honor Christ. They may not be bad things, but they distract from the best thing. And you're probably thinking right now, Brother John, you're being radical. You're being crazy. Nobody can do that. Well, let's try it. Let's try to be sold out for Jesus. And let's just see what happens when we are. You'll probably make some new enemies. You'll have some new struggles. But I want you to think about this. Think about this. The most important person you'll meet when you die is Jesus. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your grandma, grandpa, not anybody else. As much as you want to see them, we ought to want to see Jesus more, shouldn't we? If he is King of Kings, Lord of Lords, if he's the one who's died for us, if he is our bridegroom and we are his bride, shouldn't there be a desire and a longing and a yearning to be with him like he has a longing and a yearning to be with us? Because let's be honest, he doesn't need us. We need him. So I'm just asking you, when it comes to following Jesus closely, how close are you? How close are you? I'm asking me too, but how close are you? And I just encourage you to think on that today. I can't answer that question for you, and you can't answer it on your terms. God uses different measuring sticks than we do. Your close may not be Jesus close. You make sure you're following Jesus closely according to Jesus. And if you truly love him, then you'll want to follow him, and you'll see your life transform before your very eyes. So that's all I got for you today. I pray God blesses you today. If you're able to get out and enjoy God's creation, do it. And more than anything else, let's follow Jesus as close as we can every second of the day. God bless, and you have a great Thursday.